Former President Donald Trump attacked a judge overseeing his case just hours after being arraigned in Manhattan on Tuesday. Tuesday night, he put out this video. Take a look.
And this is where we are right now. I have a Trump-hating judge with a Trump-hating wife and family whose daughter worked for Kamala Harris and now receives money from the Biden-Harris campaign, and a lot of it. We recently had another trial, and this same judge told the fine man who worked for me for many, many years that if you admit your guilt, you will be in jail for 90 days. But if you don't, if we go through a trial and you're found guilty, you're going away for 10 years and maybe longer, which for a 75-year-old man with a great family really means life. What the prosecutors and judge did to that man, I will never forget, because it's right out of the old Soviet Union. That's where we are.
Right out of the old Soviet Union. Yes.
Pink-haired communist.
Okay. First, let me just note, low energy. What's wrong?
Please clap.
What's wrong, Jeb? Jeb Trump? Are you feeling a little defeated today? Are you just not feeling well? Just kind of low energy? That's so good. Okay, but anyway. So, look, you notice that obviously not only did he attack Judge Juan Merchan, who is overseeing his case, and that's never really smart, you idiot. But again, his family, which I'm sure is going to go over very, very well. Maybe Judge Merchan should have rethought the gag order on Trump. It's, maybe he will now. Maybe he will. But that's it. Maybe he didn't, because Trump's really good at hoisting himself by his own petard. So that seems to be what's happening. You give him enough rope, right? And I mean in a figurative sense, not a literal sense. Way to go, man. Attacking a judge, attacking his family. Weird. Now, Trump also was referring to, in that speech, the fact that Merchan's daughter, Lauren Merchan, is the president of a consulting firm that, yes, has done work for President Biden's campaign. Now, is that a conflict of interest? Legal experts say not necessarily. So here's the thing about that, right? I figured out what Trump is doing for this case. Now, I want the case to be on facts. If he did tax fraud, show the evidence that he did tax fraud. Show the evidence that all of this is connected, to campaign finance violations, and that he had violated the law in the way that he had set up this, what would have been normally a legal arrangement between him and Stormy Daniels to, do hush money. Because again, that by itself, that's not illegal. But the way the Trump organization set it up, and the way that he tried to deduct this entire thing from his taxes, tax fraud, falsifying business records, that's the important part of this case, right? That's why I want the case to be in the facts. Donald Trump does not want the case to be in the facts, because the facts look bad. He wants to be this case to be on the politics. You see, I think he does want a political trial, because there he might actually win the political narrative, at least when it comes to his audience. The defense is witch hunt, 100% political, Biden, a deep state,
Obama.
They're coming after me, the politics, they don't want me to run. The best thing for Joe Biden actually would be to have Trump run again. Let's be honest, right? So he doesn't want it on the actual, from what we can see, the facts of the case and the legal theory behind it, because again, the tax fraud allegations that actually do bolster the case that the Manhattan DA has against Donald Trump, that all of this is related and it's an illegal campaign contribution. But the politics of it, again, you could say that, well, Donald Trump's running for, he's running for president, so it's obviously a Democrat, Alvin Bragg, and he wanted to. I actually will concede that part of this is political, because generally prosecutors do not go after rich and powerful people. They tend to go after average people like you and me. But the fact that Donald Trump is so despised now, and all the other stuff that, he's alleged to have done, his stuff in, January 6th, and the investigation into election interference in Georgia, the so-called perfect call, and the fact that, let's be honest, the Republican establishment does not want him in the party, does not want him to run, but line up behind him because that's what the supporters do want. That's why I think this has been allowed to go forward, where generally, again, rich and powerful people are never held to account to their crimes. So, that's it. I want to go to more attacks from not just Donald Trump, but also from those in the Trump inner circle. Donald Jr. and Eric Trump also went after Lauren, not the judge, but judge's daughter. Here's what Don Jr. tweeted. Seems relevant. Yet another connection to this in this handpicked Democrat show trial. The BS never ends. Daughter of judge on Trump case worked on Biden-Harris campaign. Eric Trump tweeted this. They're all handpicked. It's all prearranged. This corruption is on a different level. It's the corruption. See. Hold on, though. Lauren Merchant doesn't have anything to do with the trial. Why are you going to go after this person who's unrelated to the trial? Look, not only that, but Merchant also warned Trump not to make comments or engage in any kind of conduct that has the potential to incite violence, create civil unrest, or jeopardize the safety or well-being of any individuals. But that's exactly what he just did. Yeah, because of course. Look, Trump knows how this works. He knows what he's doing. They know that there are people out there that are unhinged and could do potential violence, political violence. Look, it's not as if we haven't already had a bunch of, examples of threats being directed towards DA Alvin Bragg. He has already received racist death threats in envelopes filled with white powder. So this is just, I think, in my view, another example of political intimidation and possible stochastic terrorism. Calling for, somebody to do something against his political enemies while not actually calling explicitly for the violence. So now, look, a lot of people have caught on to this because it's a familiar Trump pattern. Let me give you some examples. Andrew Weissman, a former federal prosecutor, said that Trump's comments about Judge Merchant were appalling, and that even the heads of organized crime gangs wouldn't behave in such a way. Quote, "You do not have this behavior from a mob boss. There is a rule in organized crime. You do not do this with respect to prosecutors. You don't do this with respect to the judge. You certainly don't go after their families. It's just bad business to do that." Well, again, Donald Trump, not very smart. Like a mob boss, but dumber. Much dumber. Or maybe not even stupid, just he can't control himself. He literally has no self-control, no filter. And by the way, that's part of why MAGA people like him. But that mouth gonna get him in trouble. And this might be it. Now, AOC also weighed in. AOC, of course, a congresswoman from New York. Here's what she said. "He is publicly intimidating the judge and pointing a spotlight on their family to his supporters, many of whom have admitted in court to committing violence in his name. He knows what he's doing." In another thread on Twitter, she said, "Nothing says innocent like threatening a judge's family. Let's be very clear. Intimidation and stochastic terror are the core tools of Trump and the fascist movements that support him. They rely on it to skirt consequence and silence others, and each time it works, they grow more brazen. One reason why accountability is so important. Look, I cannot disagree with anything that she had said in that, because again, you look at it, there is a history, there is a pattern of him doing the exact same thing, bullying and strong arming people to get them to shut up, to get them to go away. And if he can't do that, then maybe he pays them off. But in this case, well, you can't really pay off the judge. That would be illegal and would look even worse. And so I guess it's on to intimidation. It's on to, going after the judge himself and his family. And I get concerned at what end that could possibly lead to. But then I also look at the fact that it's not as if New York isn't ready for any potential violence. So at least, there's that. But at the same time, there is cause to worry. And I just, I hope Judge Merchan and his family, I hope that nobody comes after them and nobody targets them.